The other way of playing the central pawns in the Dutch defence is to go with the classical variation. Normally, we start off with the same sort of moves as a stone wall, but on move 4, rather than d5, we'll go for bishop e7, castles, c4, and now d6. This is the classical Dutch. And it's not too late, actually, for black to head for a stone wall in this position with d5, but then you can swap bishops. You play b3, bishop a3, and this position is already better for white. Black's going to find it hard to create much of an attack without that dark squared bishop, and is then just left with an inferior structure and a very sorry light squared bishop. So by the time we've got this far, it's d6. And after this, well, we play. Our idea is to play g3 and then b3. So we'll play another early b3 here. Although if you're going to pick up your b pawn, you can push it to b4. I think that's a system I've struggled against when I've been playing black. And it's not a bad idea. But let's go with b3. The two moves here that are played are queen e8 and knight e4. We'll look at knight e4 first, where you'll carry on bishop to b2, and then a very characteristic move, bishop to f6, helping control e5 and thinking about playing e5, playing pawn to e5 one day. We'll carry on with knight bd2, knight c6, and well, there's plenty you can try here. I suspect just swapping is good for white here, forcing black into some sort of stonewall structure, and it's not easy for black to keep up that pawn on e4. So after I mean this stonewall structure might look a bit imposing, but after f3 takes and takes, both sides have got a backward e-pawn, but white looks white's just got a bit more flexibility and a bit more space. I think this position is quite good for white. Black's best move probably is c5, with a very different sort of Dutch structure. But instead of knight takes e4, let's play knight e1, threatening to win a pawn on e4. And probably it's best for black to take. There is a possibility to take the pawn on d4, but that's, I think, not so hot. Bishop takes, and then we'll win a piece by a discovered attack on the knight on d4. Knight takes on d4, knight takes d4. The same sort of discovered attacks are in play. And just having a look here at knight f3. That can't be any good for black. Again, instead of knight takes d2, knight to g5 might be a move, trying to escape towards the king's side. But f4, forceful move. Knight f7, e5. Black's getting a bit squashed. They can get in e5 here, but after takes and takes and d5 and e4, this is a very characteristic way of handling the Dutch for white. I mean, black's got their e5, f5 pawn structure in, but they just do not look in any sort of position to play a kingside attack at the moment. That's what they would like to do, and given enough moves and enough manoeuvres, I'm sure they could organise something on the king's side, but the centre has been blown up all too fast, and this is very much what I think the sort of thing you should be looking for to do as white in the Dutch defence, in all variants of the Dutch defence, certainly including the classical. So after knight e1, knight takes d2 and e5 again, and here I think we'll go for an end game. We'll chase the black king into the corner. We'll swap off the black knight, and now go for an end game. Black's pawns are really rather sorry in this position, but after knight to d3, White's got all the chances in this endgame, and I think you should look forward to playing a position like this. Black's light squared bishop should be king of the light squares, but it really doesn't have much scope at the moment and is unlikely to get any. So that's good for white. The alternative to knight e4 is queen e8, bishop b2, of course, and black's going for this caveman approach with queen h5, and saying I'm going to attack on the king side whether you like it or not. I think, knight bd2 is the consistent move. I mean, actually, knight c3 and queen c2 is fine. You're now ready for e4 when black's going to be worse. So that's another way of playing it. But let's try knight bd2. That's the consistent approach. And after knight bd2, knight to c6, rook e1, getting ready for e4, bishop d7, e4, ready or not, here we come. And now f4, and now e5. Again, we're sort of trying to blow up the centre before black's entirely ready to attack. Knight e4, knight g4, and perhaps black's got some ideas of swapping off both the defending knights and mating us on h2, but it's not really happening, I don't think. h3, knight has to go away to h6, and now g4, daring black to take. I mean, the reality is they just don't have that many pieces in positions to attack the king side. After e5, this bishop, which is might be a useful attacking piece, is just shut out of the game, and the rook. Again, it doesn't have an easy way to come in to attack the king, and this is just better here for white. Queen g6 has been played in a couple of games, and actually this position has been reached in 2 games, and white lost both of them. I suppose that shows you that attacking is easier than defending, but white really shouldn't lose this position. I mean, I think just the immediate e takes d6, opening up some lines for the bishops, following up with something like d5 would be good for white here. So e takes d6 is given a very positive. White is winning signal by Stockfish. Now the other game, I think both games went d5 first, and after e takes d5. Now I don't think you should recapture. Allow black to. Don't recapture on d5 immediately, because I think this is starting to allow black to get sorted out. But instead, after e takes d5, again take on d6 instead, opening up those lines for the white pieces. And again, this is really rather cheerful for white. There's lots of central control of the central squares that white has and black doesn't have, and black's pieces are not well placed for an attack. I don't think any of the attacks on g4 work at all. White's got lots of pieces that can both attack the centre and defend the king side. So I think this is better for white. After he takes d5, c takes d5, which I just said don't play, but knight takes e5, and the game that I know here was played knight takes e5, and I don't think that's proper to play. Let's take on e5 with the bishop, so that when we take with the knight, we gain a tempo on the queen, and actually we're attacking queen and bishop. So that's right, really rather cheerful. The queen has to retreat away from our possibly vulnerable king, and after knight on d to c4, white's absolutely dominating this position. Black's got the bishop pair to keep them warm, I suppose, but that's not going to last, and the bishops aren't just not effective in this position at all. So that's how to play that for white.